Network.
Live here, of course, for the next 3 hours. Joining us in the third hour, always interesting and informative and thought-provoking guest, David Icke, will be joining us on a host of issues, mainly dealing with the attack on Iran, the plunging global economy, and how the globalists are openly admitting that they're waging war on the human psyche with drugs and chemicals in the food and water, and now these brain-altering vaccines that are live viruses that actually go in and attack the brain tissue, giving you a type of biological, electrochemical lobotomy. So that is coming up with David today. We'll also take some calls when he's on with us for that hour. In the meantime, we're going to have wide open phones throughout the first 2 hours. I do have a lot of important news that I will cover, of course, interspersed. Former Senator Ted Stevens, the guy that wanted to end net neutrality and allow the web to be broken up, and who was constantly associated with massive corruption and who was haggard by it, went down in an aircraft with ex-NASA chief Sean O'Keefe. They were on a plane in Alaska. This is the second serious plane crash of his life. He's believed dead. They're reporting 5 dead right now, but they haven't identified the bodies yet. Very, very suspicious. If you look at the statistics for frequent business flyers who fly as much as your average federal politician, these feds have a much higher level of death rates in aircraft than other frequent flyers. Now, a lot of that is because they tend to be on smaller flights trying to go around and visit constituents. But, you know, Nick Begich, Dr. Nick Begich, who's a frequent guest here, his father was a famous congressman from Alaska. And, of course, his brother is one of the 2 senators from Alaska right now. And he believes his father was killed in foul play for standing up to the Defense Department and others. But the global mafia loves to kill people in plane crashes because then jurisdiction over those plane crashes. They really shouldn't have jurisdiction, but they've claimed it in the last few decades. And so they're able to come in and cover up what's happened. Of course, we had the Senator Wellstone situation, clearly foul play. The list goes on and on. And at the same time, we have one of the big BP critics, Matt Simons, found dead yesterday in his swimming pool. It's one of their other favorite ways to kill people, or it could have just been a heart attack. But he'd been a big critic of that and also had worked in the Bush administration. So that's some of what we'll be covering here on the broadcast today. Also, Russia battles to defend nuclear sites from fires. They've declared a state of emergency, and the Russian heat wave may kill 15,000 and shave $15 billion off of their gross domestic product, really starting to cause disruptions in Russia, Bloomberg reports. Meanwhile, temperatures continue well below average in Southern California to the point of in their growth belts there, their farming belt, there in the south and central areas and out into the desert, many of their lemons and oranges and grapefruits and other citrus crops are not ripening or not maturing because they're having record cold there right now. And you could point at that and say we're going into an ice age. You could point at Russia and say we're going into global warming. The truth is you've got thousands of major weather regions and tens of thousands of micro regions. You can always find spots on the earth that are having record hot or record cold. It's the general trends that matter. The general trends are cooling. Be right back.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new Energy Czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
You've got it. This transmission is coming to you.
Waging war on corruption.
All right, you are go.
It's Alex Jones, coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
It is Tuesday, the 10th day of August 2010. David Icke is coming up in the third hour today to talk about the chemical assault and biological assault going on against the public. Former Senator Ted Stevens and ex-NASA Chief Sean O'Keefe have gone down in a plane crash, and all on board are believed dead. It was a small plane. Could be foul play. Could be the classic high winds of Alaska and the dangers of small aircraft. But we'll talk more about that today. I also want to get more into a story that came out a few days ago that we mentioned. Stephen Hawking, the preeminent physicist and quantum mechanics expert and developer of a lot of theoretical mathematical equations dealing with black holes that have been proven, says he believes we must go off-world immediately, or that it's almost certain in the next 100 years we're going to destroy ourselves. And I agree with him. I don't think it's going to take 100 years. With the fission fusion, the new generation of nuclear weapons, the new generations of antimatter weapons the Air Force admits they've been developing for at least 20 years, with genetic engineering and cross-species open-air planting and open-air release of other biological entities, not just plants, but salmon and insects, with the other developments in super weapons it is a virtual certainty that this planet will never become a type 1 civilization, this species on this planet. A type 1 is a survivable species that is not bound to one globe, one planet. You could even argue technically not one system. Just remember that 100 years ago, everybody was still predominantly using horses, and electricity was still seen as magic. This species can basically do anything. We are made in the image of the creator of the universe, and where our potential has not even been dreamed of. We cannot even imagine our potential. But we do have a lot of selfish, controlling, wicked eugenicists in control who have shown that they do not want a world government to have world peace. They want a world government for world carnage and destruction and death. So we'll be discussing that more coming up in the next hour. A lot of really important economic news. And now the mainstream media is not just admitting, but is on fire with reports and evidence that the entire Democratic Party, but also the Republican Party, as a close second, is in political freefall. It's a greater political realignment than we saw in the 1770s, leading up to the kickoff at Lexington and Concord in 1775, and the official kickoff for secession and war in July 4, 1776. So they now admit it's a complete and total political realignment, and that the system, even when they tell the truth, no one believes them, and there's a total loss of confidence. And the globalists are all over the news today saying they need a new war or giant terror attacks. They're repeating that, and we are in the maximum zone of danger going into this election for giant terror attacks or a new war to be started as a way to rally the population around the flagging, corrupt predator class, ruling class, the rat class. So we're going to be discussing that as well today. Also, some interesting information that I'll be covering in the next hour. I was aware of this. I had read this in the Texas Constitution and Legislative Statutes, Section 431.112, calling of forces by other officials dealing with the State Guard, but also to a certain extent, the National Guard in the state. When you have an insurrection or lawlessness, that it is not the right, it is the duty of the governor, the legislature, or the county commissioner, the head judge, the head of the county commission, or the sheriff, to call out the militia. And so we'll be going over that today. Any sheriff or county judge in Texas, or they have similar laws in Arizona, it's all based on the federal Constitution, just a state version of it, can call out the police, the military, the general citizenry, and they can start arresting people for crime. So just further evidence that the federal lawsuit against Arizona and the threat against Texas, if Texas follows suit in other states, is an abject, manifest, complete fraud. And the federal lawsuit is also a violation of several articles of the Constitution we've covered here previously, dealing with the fact that the federal government cannot sue an individual or state agency on behalf of a foreign government or foreign individual. So we'll be discussing those interesting and very important points of law here coming up later in the broadcast today. Because if we get the word out to the legislatures and to the sheriffs and to the county commissioners, they can grow up and start asserting the power of the people vested in their office. 100% of the power of every federal government employee, agent, elected servant, it's the same at the state level, is given to them through the power of the people enshrined in the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and, of course, the Constitution.